But what really hooked me are the visuals. And I'm talking about from the very beginning. In fact, they showed a shot in here, and I'm glad they did, because there's a shot in here in the very beginning that is gorgeous, man. This the ghost ship shot where it's coming out the fog. I was like, wow. See, this is the kind of show that makes people confused why they should go to the theater.
Well,
This is why.
true.
This is kind of why theaters are kind of suffering right now. We can give a lot of reasons, but I mean, people are confused. I mean, because this show is the kind of thing where Christopher Nolan looks at it and goes, God damn, I want to argue with this, but I can't. Because I mean, every inch of production in this is amazing. Hey everyone, Double Toasted in LA is getting close. Ticket sales are picking up. Get your tickets now before they're all out by going to dtmerch.com. So back in the 80s, 81 to be exact, in this particular case, before fantasy and comic books and all that geek stuff, before that was mainstream, I'm gonna tell you the closest thing that you had to something like Game of Thrones back then was the epic TV miniseries. Outside of going to the movies. Epic TV movie series like this one right here.
This is Shogun, the staggering saga of feudal Japan. The story of...
You're like, no, that's that discount Shogun. I don't know what you're talking about. I just got through watching Shogun. I don't know what the hell this is you watching.
Hey, it's 1981.
Warlords battling for ultimate supremacy. They are challenged by a stranger from across the seas, John Blackthorne.
Today, by today's standards, yes, this will pretty much look on the cheaper end of things. This is Shogun. Now, we know there's another Shogun out there. We'll talk about them in a little bit, but
This one was a big deal back in the day.
No, back in 1980, or was it 81? I believe it was 1980, y'all, not even 81.
Yes, I thought.
So back in 1980, I remember this, and you remember this. This was a huge event. And this is the thing. This was up there with things like Roots.
Yep.
And other stuff. So
amongst others,
other things, you know those things.
I mean, not everything got a mini series like today. 6 episodes. That was a huge deal.
Yeah, not like you thought 13 is crazy today. No, 6 back then was major. That was massive. Of course, there's things that they couldn't do back then that they could do now. The world is bigger. The world's more tolerant. Was a little more perverted, and it was a little more nasty. And streaming is a whole different world from what we had available back then. All we had was network TV.
Yeah, and some UHF stations.
And some side channels, and maybe PBS, public broadcasting. We watched Sesame Street, but network was king. Today, streaming, that's a whole other world, man. And so today, with streaming, one of the biggest things with streaming is that streaming budgets are so huge that you can't distinguish between the movies and the series now, which is one of the things people are talking about with this new Shogun. People say, hey, you know what? This was long overdue to be given the right treatment for it. Did it work out that way? Well, for a lot of people, it did. People are really talking about this because I remember this TV show from back in the day. I was curious about this. I said, what are y'all going to do with this now? How different is it? Like, I remember anything from this old one.
I know.
I don't remember anything from this one.
I loved it at the time, but I can barely remember what happened.
Yeah. I just remember they did some things in that old one. I thought that was crazy for network television. Now that they don't have anything to hold them back, things are a little crazier. And a lot more other things, too. Let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer for the new Shogun. Shogun 2024. They even treating it like movie trailers now. Like the trailer starts now. We know, okay? It's 2 minutes. Jesus, we don't need no previews before the actual trailer that we're about to see.
Life and death are the same.
As I said, this is a big deal back in 1980, and I was just curious, man, about what what they did here with this version. Because this wasn't on my radar. And we didn't get sent a lot of episodes of this. I've only seen the 2 episodes that are out right now, like everybody else.
Yeah, well, it was on my radar when I went to Comic-Con this year. They had a big display. Like FX had a whole thing, but the biggest part of their display was Shogun.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know anything about this. I just kind of heard it was coming out, but it's one of the best reviewed shows that's out there right now. So definitely was curious about this. And one of the things that I remember about this back in the day is that it was so popular because it was based on a popular book by James Clavell.
Clavell.
I know. Oh, I looked
If
at
you
you
ever
like
get tired of me doing that, just say something.
No, please. I don't know why I snapped at you like that. Clavell. No, I'm being stupid. Please correct me. But yeah, this book was very popular, and I think this book is even part of a big Asian series.
You might be right.
I think this, like Shogun, was the beginning of a whole Asian saga of stories that were connected to this. So I don't know. I just remember it was very big back in the day. And the plot of this, it's a lot of plot in this actually, but just to give you the basics. So you have a leader that has died at near the beginning of feudal Japan, like 1600. And of course, when these emperors and these clans back in the day, just like the mafia.
They're still like the mafia.
They really are, man. Everybody talking about peace because one old dude is alive telling everybody, man, be cool. But that dude's got to go at some point. And when that fool dies, then everybody starts trying to
power grab,
trying to get power, man. It's funny because the only thing that's kind of keeping them steady is this dude right here, the guy they call the old dirty white dog, the barbarian. Yeah, this is John Blackthorne, who's an English sailor. And he's been brought in, and like I said, they call him a lowly dog, a barbarian, just nasty. And he's set for execution. Funny thing is, he knows a lot about some of the people that the Japanese are working with, mainly the Portuguese. And I'm telling you, this man, see, this is some of that gangster shit. It really is just like the mafia. Turns out that they kind of running business on the side. They ain't telling the Japanese about. But you're like, oh, I know the shit that they doing. You're like, I know all about their secret paths, their secret bases. And turns out this man who's just a lowly dog and a barbarian, he's a lot more valuable now to certain people in their power grabs and a lot bigger threat to others. It's a very interesting story they have here. And as you can see, mentioning that, where I talked about the first one was sort of the Game of Thrones back in its day. In a way, this has kind of come full circle to that description again with this one, because now that Game of Thrones is gone, look, this is a historical epic. This is not a fantasy epic, so we don't have any dragons or zombies or magic, anything going on, but all of the political power grabs, all the brutality of Game of Thrones is there. The power struggles are there amongst kingdoms. And because everyone is kind of trying to fight each other for power, no one gives a shit. It's a very cruel world. Babies are not even safe in this land. They did something with babies here, and I thought, I know y'all like, oh, man, there's some shit I had to fast forward, because the thing I remember, man, there's some things I just gets to me. I remember the first one. And I remember they boiled a dude alive, and this when they did the same thing, and I was like, God damn.
That was intense.
That was intense.
No
I was like,
fucks given on that.
I was like, God damn. They boiled him like a goddamn egg or something.
Well, it wasn't just they boiled him. Like the camera didn't leave. Like normally, we're sticking him in the pot, and now we can go on. You can imagine. They're like, no, you're gonna sit here and listen to him.
The camera walked away, and then you hear in the background, ah! and then comes back and he freaking out, he hits his head on the pot.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I was like, man, you guys had this just at boil. You don't want to turn it all the way so he can die instantly.
Hell
like,
no. Oh, they let him simmer for a little bit.
I kept him on low.
Yeah.
But yeah, it make you think they're gonna be like if he screams enough, they'll be like, all right, you've had enough. They're like, no,
we're gonna go home and do something. Come back and check on you later.
Yeah, even the people don't understand that. They're like, look, pain is universal. Like, we understand that shit.
Hell yeah, shit. I thought they were gonna crack his ass like a boiled egg and eat what's inside a cracker. They cooked him like crawfish.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they boiled his ass like crawfish. I thought they gonna eat his ass after he was done. Suck the head off.
Now, who else had something to say? Not me, boss. I'm good.
Shit, I remember that in that first one. At least they had the dignity to like cut it short and go to commercial.
Yeah, right.
That dude got one, and then they went to a laundry commercial or some shit. And this like, nah, you gonna sit down and watch this shit.
Need to clean your dishes?
Nah, man. It's up, man. I would say with the story, I'm kind of curious. So did you see the first episode?
I did.
Okay, you saw first episode.
both.
You saw both. Man, how did y'all feel about the story here? I'm just gonna say what I feel about it and pass it on. I felt like the story's good. Like the setup I told you about. Oh man, it's very good. I felt like the story can be hard to keep up with sometimes because there's so much political intrigue going on with this, and you can have it's so much that characters even stop for exposition monologues sometimes, which I can tell. Now I'm only watching the first 2 episodes, and by the time I got to that second one, I was like, okay, shit is really being started to be set in place now.
Yeah, because the first episode feels like a lot of mostly setup.
Yeah.
But that second episode is like, oh, we're taking off already. Getting sliced left and right.
Yeah. There's like some guy's like genuinely good. Like he's like, oh, man, I love you. Get out of the way. Get out of here.
Sure did, man. Sure did.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of characters. You know, there was a lot that it was trying to get across, but I thought that it was really good, and it was actually like there was. I'm trying to think of the word. It was elegant.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
It was very nice the way it was, and all the complaints that I had about that Avatar show out the window with this. Like this was beautiful, man.
Yeah,
down to those costumes. They were amazing.
It's beautiful. Money. You see the money here. It feels authentic.
Yes.
It's an adult show, a very adult show. Matter of fact, it's a show where I would warn anybody, if you're used to watching TV and being on your phone at the same time, this is not going to be the show for you.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to digest and a lot with subtitles. You know, the people are speaking Japanese. They aren't changing it to English for you. So you gotta sit there and read and take it in.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say one of the things I find interesting was what I remember from the original miniseries was how John Blackthorne was this noble sailor with his crew who shows up, and here they're just a bunch of dirty ass pirates.
Oh yeah. No. I mean, when they were calling them dogs and shit, I was like, I don't think that's cool. But you. I mean, this man. I mean, we see him like the rain rinsed it off, but he was covered in shit.
Yeah,
not dirt, shit. He made a joke about it, like, "Hey guys, crazy. I was like looking real shitty right now." Shit. Yeah, man. You hit it, both of you, because the story. I think it picks up in the second episode. I think the first episode is fine. It's just a lot to really take in. Things start to make sense to me more in the second episode. But what really hooked me are the visuals. And I'm talking about from the very beginning. In fact, they showed a shot in here, and I'm glad they did, because there's a shot in here in the very beginning that is gorgeous, man. This the ghost ship shot where it's coming out the fog. I was like, wow. See, this is the kind of show that makes people confused why they should go to the theater.
Well,
this is why.
True.
This is kind of why theaters are kind of suffering right now. We can give a lot of reasons, but I mean, people are confused. I mean, because this show is the kind of thing where Christopher Nolan looks at it and goes, "God damn, I want to argue with this, but I can't." Because I mean, every inch of production in this is amazing. TV can't compete with film formats, all right? TV cannot compete with 70 millimeter. It just can't, because it's huge. Unless you just got a huge ass house, you can put on, project 70 millimeter on the wall or something. You're not going to be able to do that. But for the average person, TV is definitely matching the visuals.
Well, yeah, because like I said, for Christmas, we went ahead and got an 85-inch TV, and I'm watching this in HD. And I'm thinking when I go watch something at the Gateway Theater on that muddy ass screen with those low bulbs, I'm like, I'm getting a better experience at home than I am there.
See, you had a great point. Not every theater is IMAX, all right? Not every theater is 70 millimeter. Not every movie out there is being shot in 70 millimeter. Most of these movies that you're going to see, they look about as shitty as this dude in this. Where they brought my man out, he was the only one looking nasty. That's every movie that you watch at the theater, just about. We go to so many theaters right now where the bulb is dim, the screen is dirty.
Yeah.
and of course there's the surrounding experience that's not that good. So when you have something like this, man, and you're watching on an 85-inch TV like you are in HD, yeah, man, this straight up rivals anything you see in the theater. If nothing else, if the story is not for you, just give it a chance, for about a few minutes, just to gaze at how great the beautiful production is here. I'm gonna tell you, man, it makes that original like some old rinky-dink ass YouTube production, man. Look at that right there,
That's
man.
not fair.
All right. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. It's a product of its time, but okay. I'm sorry.
The film that they used to shoot that old crap, like, man.
This old Marty Krofft shit we watching.
Well,
right
plus, until recently, television was treated like the stepchild to movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're right. No, it's interesting to see what was considered to be just, top-notch production back then, how far we've come. TV, just even with their biggest productions in their, and their most prestigious programming like this, which was a huge deal. This was a TV blockbuster. TV could not compete at all with movies back then.
No, not at all.
That's different now. And it's amazing to look at this.
Another element of like just the elegance of this is just the script. Like I appreciated so much that they were speaking different languages. Like they go between Japanese, Portuguese, and English, and it doesn't feel forced. And that's like a really nice way for them to make their own Game of Thrones lane, to really differentiate them and make the people feel like different groups. I love that.
Yeah.
Like them getting in arguments with the translators. It's like, will you do your job? Like trying to make problems here.
And it's true. It adds another element of intrigue to this because, the translator translate to one of the leaders, the feudal leaders, and then the dude who's sitting over there like, man, I didn't say that shit. I know you lied. No, man, I did. No, you didn't.
Well, it makes you really pay attention to what the translator is saying in the subtitles.
Yeah,
because John will say something, the translator's talking, you're like, you better get that right. All right, that's close to what he said. I'll allow it.
It's so many times they had scenes like that, the translator say something, and the other dude be like, man, that's lied. I didn't say that. And then the other guy's like, what the hell is he talking about? And everybody's confused. It's really cool scenes like that, and you're 100% right with the language, because back then, if I recall correctly, and I was small, but I do recall that there was more emphasis on John Blackthorne.
Yes, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
There was more, let's focus from the lens of the white guy.
Yeah.
And he's amongst the others. And that is not the case this time.
This feud, this war is about, even though this guy is central to what's happening right here, he's sort of watching this while all this is unfolding around him. He's more of a spectator. It's really cool that they were able to focus on the mostly Japanese cast. Like most of the people here are Japanese, and the camera's on them most of the time. It's not so focused. Now, it might change. It's not so focused on John. John's story is about to pick up now, but I think you're right. I like the way the show said, you don't like to read, we don't give
learn another language, then fuck you.
Exactly. Read a book, read this movie or this show, right? It's like they didn't care. You said it was authentic. So they didn't do this thing where these Japanese people start speaking with some old British ass accent.
Right,
No, they spoke with Japanese. They spoke English with Japanese accents. No, they didn't do that. People spoke Japanese, and to make it authentic, you just had to kind of read the subtitles, or don't. But I think that was a wise choice, and it really was nice to see them focus mostly on the Japanese characters and their story. Like he just got off of work at the Dairy Queen or something to show his head.
Still smelling like French fries or something.
大坂へよう参られた。
勢力を伸ばす。
6組もの。
それによりお主の領地は倍増したではござる。
And that's another thing. Even though you can't speak the language, these fools are so serious. You know some shit about to go down. It's and you could all tell that all of them kind of side talking. They're all insinuating certain things, all insinuating disrespect for each other, even though they have to like give the air of respect.
Well, especially Ishida, who's running the council, he's just mean mugging and looking like just full of menace the whole time, just like no chill whatsoever.
Yeah.
And you talk about the acting. This actor was just in Monarch, where he was a completely different character.
Really? Nice. You're talking about this dude right here.
Yeah.
Oh, that dude's an asshole.
Yeah.
Even the part where he came in and everybody's like, man, shut up. Don't say nothing. If you value your life, don't look at me in the eye. No, this guy, yeah, it's you like I said, you could start to see how all these chess pieces are being set up. And I wouldn't let the whole thing of reading subtitles be off-putting to you. If you give it a chance, it really is a great story that they're telling right here. I really like, as far as the actors go, I really like the cast that they have here. Like I said, the Japanese cast is very good. The one I recognize the most is Hiroyuki Sanada.
Mm-hmm.
He's in a lot of stuff these days. And one of the cool things about it is, just like with Game of Thrones, I can't figure out who is good or bad, or just whole land's just kind of messed up where you can't really choose. People have their good days and have their bad days.
Yeah.
Like this character, he's set up to seem like you're the one to root for, or he's the one to root for, but I don't know. I can't read these people too well.
Yeah, they're setting them up as like really great gray areas, and they're all really interesting. And it's not trying too hard. It's just like slowly unfolding. There's just a lot to unpack.
Yeah. This dude I like a lot, Cosmo Jarvis. He has a great voice because he's a 34-year-old guy who sounds like a 74-year-old man. I was like, did they dub his voice over? Does the dude does he eat like cigarettes, like pretzel sticks or something? Because he every time he talks like this.
Oh, yeah, he's like that.
Yeah, and I'm just like, you can't tell at first because he's all covered in shit and hair, but then when they dress him down, he looks like a young Bane or whatever the dude plays.
Tom Hardy.
He looks like a young Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
And I was like, this dude's voice does not fit his face, but it is him. Mm-hmm. But he's great.
Yeah.
I really like him a lot in this. I don't know, man. I like I said, this is something I wasn't going to even talk about today. Somebody brought it up to me, and some people have been sending emails, and I really am glad that I went and watched this. I think I'm going to follow up with it because there's some stuff that I just get busy, and even though I love them, I don't get a chance to really go back and revisit it or finish it. But with this, I think that, like I said, man, they're setting up so many storylines and they're setting up so many moments of these power struggles that I kind of want to see where it goes. I would almost, just like with Dune, even if the story wasn't as strong, the acting is great, the production is great, the costumes and locations are amazing, and the visuals are so incredible that I'd give this a full price based on that alone, especially for this being a TV miniseries.
Yeah, I mean, FX has quietly become the new HBO, especially with HBO falling off like it has. And they have a number of series that I think are must watch. But they've really put so much into this, and it shows, and it's working out. And yeah, even by the second episode, I'm so intrigued by where this is going to go because I barely remember the old miniseries. I almost hate watching these previews because I was like, I don't want to know anything.
Yeah.
Another actor that we haven't really mentioned was Nestor Carbonell, and I don't remember his character's name, but he was the one on the ship who was the Spaniard.
The Spaniard, yeah.
But I mean, he's always been good and everything, but he's awesome in this, and he brings the much needed humor breaks in what's very serious.
And that's true. One of the things I forgot to mention here, and I'm gonna pass this on to Julian, is that being that this is, and let me see if I can find this guy. There he is. Oh, that's the guy that played him.
Yeah, he was in Lost.
Yeah.
He used to play Batman well on the Tick.
And wasn't he in The Dark Knight?
Yes, he was.
I didn't know that was that guy.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was that guy. One of the things that they can do here, like I was saying, this is more mature rated. They're doing things here that you don't see, you couldn't do or be able to see back when they did it in 1980 on the network television. And that was more violence. There's a lot more blood. Everybody's every now and then I use some choice words, and I can already tell there's gonna be more titties, sex.
Oh yeah,
there's gonna be First episode, some chick was she put on a nice show for a guy, swelled them titties out, and rode some dude in front of some other guy. And I was like, okay. I don't remember that from 1980, but I can already tell there's gonna be a lot more of that down the line. So hey, for those of you, if you can't appreciate the production or the story, there's some titties in there for you, if that speaks your language. But so there's, they get a chance to come in and do a lot more mature storytelling with this, if that's your thing.
But if you're going, that's fine, but where's all the samurai swords and the blood? That second episode, man, it went hog wild. I mean, it was a scene that I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yep.
Caught me completely off guard.
Yeah,
it's a full price for me. But Julian?
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I think that my rating could go up, go down, but I'm like just at a high matinee, like almost on the cusp of full price. But it's like I don't know yet. I haven't seen all of it. How many episodes do you think they're going to be? Is
It's
it gonna be
8, I think. No, 6. 6. I think it's 6
Okay,
episodes.
I love that. That's a good episode amount. I think that this is across the board just top notch. I couldn't think of a mistake with this. It's more just a personal preference thing.
8. Sorry.
Oh, 8 episodes. Okay, whatever. But yeah, I give it a super high matinee on the cusp of a full price. I'll probably turn into a full price by the end of it.
All right.
We'll see.
Well, you made it to the end of the video. That must mean you really like what we do. So if you do, check out these other videos just like this one. Check out our other YouTube channels and subscribe to join our wonderful Toasty community. And as always, stay toasty.